I am in a Netflix documentary. They just posted the trailer. Louis Theroux made a documentary about the Manosphere, which it looks like I'm the centerpiece of that trailer. We'll see about the documentary.
I have never seen more bots than right now with this Louis Theroux doc coming out. The amount of DMs I'm getting is crazy. Look at this one. I'd rather be poor and happy than rich and exploitative. Why do you think that being rich is a negative thing? Why can't you be rich and happy?
Obviously, the biggest guy in the space, in that whole Manosphere community, is Andrew Tate. I was messaging Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate quite a lot back and forth, and he was like, maybe I'm going to do it if you pay me. I said, we're not going to pay you.
This documentary exposes the truth behind red pill content creators. Let's talk about it. Now, before we get into the whole spiel, I know what you all are thinking. You're thinking, I know what you all are thinking. But that's not possible, okay? But if I could take a guess, you're probably thinking, hey, this looks odd. Why is this guy standing? And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm standing because better to stand than sit on your ass, okay? Now let's get into the video. So over the last few years, we've seen our fair share of red pill content. And honestly, there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said. Now, I am fairly new to this realm of content, but I am not new to controversial topics, as some of you all may know. I haven't really had the opportunity to share my thoughts on the whole Manosphere world, but I promise to make my stance very clear by the end of this video. So before we hop in, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It goes a long way. All right, back to the video. So I came across this documentary the other day as I was scrolling Netflix, and trust me, I watch a lot of documentaries. So it's probably why I was recommended, but I still didn't know who the heck Louis Theroux was. So I looked him up, and honestly, I was pretty impressed by his resume. 30+ year career, over 40 documentaries, and 3 British Academy Film Awards. But that's enough glazing Louis, okay? Now, as I watched this documentary, I can see the angles and the plot unfold. I can see the angle that Louis was taking, and though I didn't always agree with him, or when I felt the documentary falling a little short of my expectations, it still did not alter me being impressed on how he could have a vision and then sway the project in that direction. I must admit that at times I did want to scream at the screen when Louis would not offer more pushback on certain topics, and when he acted so oblivious to the corruption of Hollywood and the government. Also, when he was asked questions about Israel and Jimmy Savile. So I kind of feel like the documentary did expose him in a way too, because even if you don't believe in all the crazy conspiracy theories, we can all collectively agree that there is corruption in Hollywood and the government. I'm pretty sure that all of us can agree there. So I just felt like he played it a little too safe, or maybe he wasn't properly prepared. But that's enough about Louis. Now, I do feel like everyone in the documentary was exposed in a way. No, not the type of exposure that will make someone with only 2 brain cells stop following, but the type of exposure that kind of solidifies what we already know about the red pill community. You know, like when you know something, but you just want to hear the confession out that person's mouth, that type of exposure. So yeah, basically, we just got more evidence that these guys are all just grifters. The classes are a pyramid scheme, and that some form of childhood trauma is fueling all of this. The funniest thing to me about this whole thing is that they don't even understand what they agreed to. Like any sensible adult, why not look up the guy with the big ass camera to see who he really is and what his motives are? I just find this very hilarious. They saw the camera for an opportunity for more exposure the whole time they being exposed. All they saw was bigger camera, bigger audience, bigger opportunity for scheming, ultimately bigger bag. Bigger is not always better, okay? Now, we've reacted to HSTIKKYTOKKYY before. This dude only posts brain rot content. He's basically a 23-year-old man child who still runs around calling his mom mommy like a fucking toddler. Ain't nothing alpha about that. Think of all the worst possible outcomes wrapped around a base of innocence. That's basically who this guy is. You're gonna get the worst shit every time. He reminds me of one of those badass mentally challenged kids who's genuinely unaware that they're terrible. So he just keep on manifesting new terrible ideas. He's on the spectrum somewhere. I just can't pinpoint the location. But I'm gonna find you, HS. I'm gonna find you.
What have you done?
Barnett, do good. Barnett, do good.
No, Bunny, do bad. Very bad.
Now, I keep hearing people admire his I don't care attitude. But he's slow. That's like the default setting for someone who lacks awareness. Okay? They usually do something stupid, and when they're called out for it, use I don't give a fuck as a crutch. His exposure is clear because now he's asking that the documentary get taken off Netflix. Does that sound like someone who don't give a fuck? And on top of all that, bro just really misses his dad.
When I was 15, I started to develop and fill out. So I sort of went from being small and fast to big and fast, which was awesome.
How awesome was it? How awesome really was it, Victor? Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome, but how awesome?
Now, Justin Waller was probably the most interesting person out of the whole documentary to me. Because first of all, I'd never heard of him. Secondly, it just felt like he was going out of his way to try to make himself seem like this good person, only to make himself look like a piece of shit by the end of the documentary. This is crazy. He said one of the first things that he say to men when they approach him is, I love you. What? Bro handing out love like free Costco samples. Meanwhile, the only thing he loves is embarrassing his girlfriend. Stop it. Get some therapy. Meet me back here in 30. Everything about this dude looks rehearsed. He's gaslighting his girlfriend. One day he doesn't want her in the documentary, and then he does. And honestly, I could understand why when things unfolded the way they did. I'm pretty sure they rehearsed the script and he was like, look here, you got 15 seconds. You better make it count. Cause she came out swinging, bro. And she put on a great performance for Ray Charles. Because one thing they miscalculated was how her body would start to glitch when she got asked a question about their marital status. Now, I might be over-exaggerating a little, but she was caught off guard when she would say yes and Justin would say no at the same time, which just offers more insight that he's not honest with her about their status. Now, here's where the story gets wild. I swear this dude Justin has a whole villain backstory. Okay? He says his mom used to put hands on his dad. I'm talking about come home, whoop his ass. What? Now, think about what that does to a child psychologically. Seeing your mom beat your dad is crazy, but it doesn't stop there. His mom burnt down 2 houses for insurance money. 2 houses. His mom was the definition of demon time. The whole time we thinking he hate women. He really just hate his mom. He talks about how his mom never said that she was sorry or that she was wrong about anything. And honestly, bro, this just make me feel bad for the little kid still inside. Still doesn't change the fact that the trauma his mom left him with is now being inflicted on his children. Because how he feels about how his mom treated his dad is how his daughters are going to feel about how he treat their mom. This is literally a generational curse. And that's where I feel he got exposed the most. This nigga looks like he binged watched hella Iron Man movies and said to himself, I'm going to cosplay as Robert Downey Jr. instead of Tony Stark's. He had to find a male role model somewhere after his mom ran his dad off. So I get it. But for that reason, pack him up, send him to Turkey for a half-off lifetime therapy subscription. Today. Now, honestly, I don't even think it's possible to expose Myron Gaines. Myron is a generational, goofy-ass nigga. I honestly don't know what race he is, and nobody claims this nigga.
Whose baby is this? Whose baby is this? Ain't lying.
Bro was even terrified of a 19-year-old college student.
This is my biggest dream to come see you. So I wanted to ask you a quick question real quick. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? My notes. I'm pulling up my notes.
Nah, man, nah. You gotta chill out.
Okay,
chill
my bad,
out, bro.
So
what's wrong with you?
okay,
bro?
no, I was about to ask you a question, fam.
Now, Myron goes out the saddest in this documentary, but Myron always goes out sad. See, the thing about Myron is he pretends that he's in control, but in reality, nobody believes him. His persona is the most transparent out of all of them, and everything he does looks forced. Underneath all of that internet stuff, he's basically decent man. Basically, Myron is decent man's final form. Now, Myron's idea of being an alpha male is basically him regurgitating things that he's heard men say women's supposed to do, like clean up, cook, wash my clothes. He argues that he doesn't hate women. He understands women so much that he knows what they need and what they want. This nigga didn't get any before any of this. Now, when I saw that segment of Myron and Angie, the first thing I thought about was Law 1, the 48 Laws of Power. Never outshine the master. Basically, make the person with the superiority complex feel secure. Because that's what it looks like she was doing for the time being. She played into his weakness, and that was the need to feel in control. Myron doesn't control anything. But here again, body language shows up. Her body language confirmed that all the things he talk about on camera are things he don't even practice in his real life behind the camera. She wasn't going for none of that. So even after noticing her body language and her blatantly saying that she don't know how him having multiple wives will work, he sends her off camera and then proceeds to lie and answer the question for her, saying that she will agree to whatever makes him happy. Like we didn't just see and hear for ourselves. Angie eventually ended up leaving Myron after she got done completing whatever side quest she was on. Damn, my boy, I guess you don't know what women want. Because the whole time, she wanted a nigga who skate. And then there's Sneako. He supports Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and pushes conspiracy-heavy religious takes. But then talks about evil people running the world, Satanism, and the evils of Hollywood. And I really don't understand how you can claim that while supporting people who either run the system or who are deeply tied to it. This is why critical thinking is important, because he's literally contradicting himself. Look, believe what you want to believe, but at least make it consistent. Sneako was exposed for being a fraud when he was asked who was in these organizations, and he could not give a definite answer or a name. He couldn't give a name because these are the type of people he supports, like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And honestly, I feel like this should have been one of the main angles for exposure in this documentary, because all of them scream the Matrix, the government is evil. Meanwhile, they are all heavily involved in politics. 1 minute bragging about helping get Donald Trump elected. Then the next minute, the government is ran by Satanists. Now, I 100% agree that the government and Hollywood is weird, but you're literally supporting people who are tied to Epstein Island. What the fuck? You know what? Pack them up. Pack them all up. Send them on a one-way trip to outer space, because clearly these dudes are damaged beyond repair. And their followers, they'll move on to the next trend soon enough. Now, this documentary didn't expose anything about the Manosphere that we didn't already know. And honestly, I don't think that was the aim. Those diehard followers are still going to be diehard supporters. The women who come on their streams that are just the female versions of them are not going to stop participating. The hypocrisy is still going to be the loudest thing in the room. I think the ultimate exposure is that critical thinking is non-existent. You can dress up idiocracy, and although it may make it appear more attractive, it still doesn't make it make more sense. Never let someone tell you that being a man means abusing women, partying nonstop, driving fast cars, drinking, smoking, or hating groups of people. Being a man means none of that. The secrets of being a man: you're born male, and then you grow into an adult male. Everything else, behavior shaped by society. But hey, that's just my perspective. And sometimes perspective is altered by trauma, and trauma can spread through thousands of people without them ever realizing it.